I found it somewhat difficult to explain what I see as problems with the folding lines of the 1665 Marci to Kircher letter. So I just wanted to make a little video to explain it better. First of all, this is a letter from the Kircher correspondence. Well, it's my printout of the letter, of course, and you can see here a seal. It's a case where a letter had on one side the address, and on the other side it has the actual letter, and the letter becomes the envelope. So for privacy reasons, the letter could be folded in on itself like this, and then actually you go this way first, then you come in here. Now I know where this folded because of the fold lines. When I printed this letter out, I knew where the fold lines were. And you end up with a little seal that can seal the letter, and you end up with the address on one side. Actually, I think I made that a little bit wrong, but this is basically, you end up with the address on the outside, and the whole thing becomes the actual envelope that you send it in. Then the other case will be like where they use a blank sheet of paper or vellum. I think in the Kircher correspondence it's all paper, because you wanted to put several sheets inside. Now the one side is blank, so I didn't bother printing that. I just left it blank. Now the seal, again, you see the seal is on the same side as the address because you're using the sheet of paper as your envelope. Now you might have had multiple sheets for your letter in there. You might have had drawings or something else that you wanted to include, so you used this, you made your own envelope like this. So basically this would get folded up so nothing could fall out, and then it kind of does this cool thing. It wraps around like this, and you have a little tab, and the tab misses the end. Doesn't go over the top because your address is on the other side. So it goes like this, and then you can see the remnants of the seal here, and there's your address. Now interestingly, that first letter was 1655 from Marci to Kircher. 10 years later we come to the letter that is in the Voynich. This one was said to be found by Wilfrid Voynich in the Voynich Manuscript itself. Now I feel there's various problems with this letter, but I'm just going to point out for now the problem I had folding it. All of the letters in the correspondence fold similarly, if not exactly, but similarly to the examples that I just showed there. They're either an envelope or they're a letter that folds as an envelope. This doesn't seem to do either. First of all, you have two seals up here that match, but they make no sense because they're on this side. They're on the writing side of the paper. So to seal a letter up, there's really no way that they make any kind of sense. You would never seal a letter like this in any way, no matter how you folded it. So some people have suggested, I don't know if they've thought of it for that reason, but they've suggested these seals were used to attach the letter in the book, in the Voynich manuscript. But that also is not something I've actually seen done, although I suppose it's possible. Why then do they match when you fold the fold lines? Then the other problem is that any way that you fold this up, really the best way that you can fold it up is similarly to making an envelope, but you don't get that neat little tab on one side to seal. It comes to the top almost, but it doesn't make it around the other side. Whoops, actually you would do like this, something like this. There's all different ways that you can do this, but the point being that if you fold these in on themselves and like this tab does not fold over the top. So what is this tab? Well, I don't know. But I'm going to make a suggestion here. This looks to me, and again I don't have the scale to match up with the other ones, it looks to me as though this is a repurposed sheet of paper. May have had original fold lines on it. The fold lines themselves look similar to the fold lines of the other items in the Kircher correspondence, but they're not. It looks to me as though this was cut down from something else and used to make this letter. It was either cut down maybe from an envelope that was repurposed, maybe from a blank sheet of paper. I do tend to think it was a piece of paper that had already been folded because there are fold lines on it, and if you were using a blank sheet of paper with no fold lines, you'd probably fold it properly. So it's almost as though it was some sort of pre-existing envelope or something that was cut down to take off an address or something and to turn it into a sheet of paper that would look kind of like one of the other letters in the Carteggio, but it doesn't actually seem to match. Anyway, those are my concerns. There are other concerns about the letter which I won't go into in detail here, but basically having to do with how he found it, when he said he found it, why it even left the collection to begin with, and the writing, the signature, and those sorts of things, which are other issues which I cover, which I'm going to be covering on my blog anyway.